When I set up my workspace, I always put plastic on my table first so that I don't have a big cleanup job. The next thing I do is I make sure I have my product, obviously. I need something to stir it with. I like to use this because this type of a spatula, because I can get to the bottom of the can and get my product mixed very well, gently. And then I can take whatever product I'm going to use and put it in a tray so that I'm ready to go and I'm not coming in and out of the big gallon. In my studio, I always have the clear matte pre-coat, the clear semi-gloss pre-coat, then I use the white matte pre-coat, and I use the clear gloss pre-coat type 2. Those are the coatings that I always have in my studio, and I'll be doing little videos on what I use those coatings for. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my 3-inch foam brushes. I'm going to use a little bit of just a lint remover so that they're clean. I'm going to make sure that whatever surface I'm working on, it's clean also. If I think the surface is going to move around on me when I'm trying to coat because it's a smaller one, then I'm going to take just a little piece of tape, double face it, and just put it in a corner so that I can keep this surface in one space and I don't have to put my fingers all over it. Then I'll just coat my surface. This is a piece of luchador. So I'm using, well, right now I'm actually using an iridescent, and an iridescent has an adhesive in it, and that is a good thing for luchador. Luchador is a spun-bond polyester, so the fiber itself is not porous, but the fabric itself is, because it's widely spaced with the fibers. Once I get my piece all coated, then I'm going to put it on plastic and put it aside and then wait for it to dry. And I usually dry my things overnight so that I know they're really dry when I am ready to print them. Something that I suggest when you start working with inkAID pre-coats is to take the surfaces that you want to print and actually test them with the pre-coats. Right here I have organdy, and I think even with the camera and the video here, you can see the difference in a different pre-coat on a different surface. So if you take the different pre-coats, there is, like I was saying in my studio in another video, I like the clear matte and I like the white matte, I like the type 2, and I also like the semi-gloss, to have that on hand all the time. There are differences in those pre-coats. The white matte is always going to give you a nice finish. It's going to show most of the detail in your print. It's going to give you good color. You can see here that it is a bright, nice matte print. Now, the other coatings, if you're doing fabrics, are going to let some of the fiber show through, and they're going to let some of the air show through because they're not opaque type fabrics. And those are the kind of things that you're going to want to know when you are actually working with the pre-coats. Because if you're doing some printing and you're doing it professionally, or you want to show your work, you're going to have to know exactly what happens with those pre-coats. One of the things that I will do is I will take a longer sheet, and you probably won't be able to see this on the whole thing because I have this close up, but I will take a longer sheet of either fabric or paper. This is Kozo paper, and I will mark the back where I have little marks of exactly where these different coatings are, so that I can go back and look, and I can obviously see that right here I have the white matte next to the clear matte. The white matte is giving you a very vivid print, and the clear matte is letting some of the off-white of the surface show through. That's something that I might want at a time. So if I want a really clear print, I'm going to use the white matte. But if I don't, I'm going to maybe use the clear matte. I use this other one. Let's see what's next. We have type 2. So you can see a little difference in the type 2, and there also, as the print goes on, the print changes. So some of it you can see, and some of it is you have to look at it in person. But right here you can see a line, because this goes from a semi-gloss to a pearl. So you can see the difference in the two pre-coats. So one of the things that I would do if I were starting out is I would get all my pre-coats tested and decide what I'm going to do for different projects.